Oh, forget about it.
It's too late in the show for this, folks.
Especially when all over the internet, it's just the voice. There's no music no more.
Yeah, it's just...
I ain't hitting those notes.
Have you ever noticed that about every 10 years, every decade, you have one song with a banjo in it that's cool?
Yeah.
I think that was the 80s one.
That was it.
That was it. The one.
And speaking of cool, let's get to our friend Mike in El Segundo. How are you, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Jeff and Jimmy and Mark. Doing great. Especially listening to your show. Doing really great. Thank you. We all remember, of course, I shouldn't say we all, but those who listen to your show at least, I'm sure, remember the shot that's heard around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Both historically and this year. The shots in Lexington and Concord, which started the real shooting in the American Revolutionary War when the British soldiers came to confiscate the Americans' firearms and their gunpowder. And that has to be a big reminder to everyone that, there's certain lines that when they get crossed, you cannot allow them to be crossed, basically. You have to stop it, or else you will be totally helpless, as the Americans would have been, totally helpless once they were disarmed. And that's the worst situation you can possibly be in. And just like if you're under criminal assault, you do not want to have the criminal disarm you. You don't want to allow them to tie you up or handcuff you and take you to another location, or you're very likely going to be killed, and maybe worse things before you get killed, or terrible things. Also, today is a one-year anniversary of another shot that was heard around the world, of course, and that was the bullet that was shot at Donald Trump by an assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania, that shot Trump in the head. And with the grace of God, Trump at that exact moment turned his head, or moved his head, of course, to look at a chart he was pointing to on the display, and that saved his life. He was only shot in the air with a tremendous amount of blood coming out. I shouldn't say only. It's terrible to get shot anywhere in your body. But that was yet another shot heard around the world. And yet Trump, just like Ronald Reagan, who was shot by an attempted assassin, they both did not turn against the Second Amendment. They did not turn against America's most important liberty of all, the one that protects all the other liberties. If anything, I think they both became even more strongly in support of the Second Amendment. And this shows a huge difference between Republicans and Democrats, because Democrats will exploit any crime or tragedy or assassination as an excuse to eliminate the Second Amendment, just like they misused the assassination of John Kennedy and Martin Luther King as well to pass the Gun Control Act of 1968, which was truly horrific.
Yep.
So I wanted to bring that to everyone's memory. And by the way, the Gun Control Act of 1968 does not even recognize your right to self-defense. It allows the government to ban importation of firearms that are considered not suitable for sporting and recreational use. And this is the communist Democrat mindset, that we do not have a basic natural God-given right, a human right to protect ourselves and our families when the government cannot do it, and worse, when they do not want to do it, like when the Democrats want to defund the police, when they keep letting murderers, multiple murderers, and torturers, and rapists, and carjackers, and home invaders out of prison. They don't even want to put them in prison in the first place, especially if they're illegally here in the country.
That's the muddled mantras of the left. Only the police should have guns, but we don't trust the police.
Well, in fact, that's what you call a police state. That's Nazi Germany. That's one of the many parallels the Democrat Party has with the real Nazis, with Hitler's National Socialist German Workers' Party, they were Marxists. And the schools and the news media always cover that fact up. They lie when they tell us the Nazis were right-wing extremists. In fact, they were far left-wing extremists. Well, the only reason the Democrats would call Republicans right-wing extremists is because the Democrats are socialists and communists. They're so far whacked out on the extreme left end of the political spectrum that to them, anyone who's not as far left-wing as them, who's not a socialist or communist, must be a right-wing extremist.
Yeah. Well,
it's
Mike,
all very relative.
Mike, check this out. Read the 1968 Gun Control Act. It is almost word for word of the 1938 Nazi Germany Gun Control Act.
Come on.
I heard
Coincidence?
That. In fact, there was an organization called Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, JPFO, and their founder, was that Aaron Zellman? I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago. He put out a book that showed how he tracked down the history of it, and he found some documentation that a Democrat congressman representative, I believe, or senator, I think it was representative, had actually done research on the Nazi Germany gun control laws. And they apparently actually went out of their way to model the Gun Control Act of 1968 after the German gun control laws.
Yeah.
So it was not just a coincidence.
No.
It was actually researched and copied, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to point out is that there are people like myself who became life members of the California Rifle and Pistol Association, CRPA, at CRPA.org, as well as the NRA a long time ago. And I became life members of both back in 1982 when the Democrats put a ballot measure on the California state ballot to ban handguns. And it was a slow motion ban, so it banned the introduction of any new handguns into California, and the plan was through attrition, people moving out of state, people dying, and guns just wearing out, that you would not be able to replace them, and they wanted to get guns banned over time slowly if they could not do it instantly all at once. Mm-hmm. So people like myself got really woken up back in 1982 when that was put on the ballot, and we donated lots of money, became life members. But people have to remember, when you're a life member of CRPA or other pro-gun organizations, that does not mean you should stop giving money. You still need to donate money every year, or more often than once a year, because freedom isn't free. Okay, we have very, very evil, demonic forces trying to destroy our ability to protect ourselves from them. And they have plans as bad as or worse than the worst of the socialists, including the Nazis and the communists, for our future. And they don't have concentration camps and gulags in this country yet, because they're not physically able to do it yet. That's why they need to get rid of the Second Amendment and private firearms ownership. So keep that in mind. If you wait until you feel it's urgent to donate money to the organizations that are protecting our freedom, it's going to be too late.
It really is. And Mike, I got a bunch of other calls I got to get going. As always, thanks for the call.
Always
appreciate We'll talk to you again.
You're welcome. Okay, take care, gentlemen.
God bless you, Mike.
Let's get to Doug in Palos Verdes. Doug, how are you?
Good, and you guys?
Good.
Great show.
Thank you, Doug.
I got a question about a Remington 870. It's I got it in 1985. It's a police model. And when I rack it, not all the time, but every once in a while, it'll spit a round out of the tube after I've already pulled the bolt home, and the lifter is down, so it gets jammed between the two.
Cartridge broken stuff.
Yeah, your cartridge. It sounds like your cartridge stop is broken. Here's see, Palos Verdes. Who's out in that area? Bolsa Gunworks. Evans. Gunsmithing in Orange. It's a pretty simple fix.
It's an easy fix.
Yeah, pretty easy fix. But yeah, you definitely want to get that working. And
yes, I do. I do a whole lot of gunsmithing myself. So.
Cool. Check your cartridge stops.
And that is, you have to remove the lower tube, or the back tube.
The cartridge stops, I'm trying to remember, they're on the 870. They're inside the receiver.
Yeah.
So they're just in front of the lifter.
Okay, so it's inside the receiver, and you just got to pop those out and replace them?
Yep.
Should be a broken spring or maybe a broken finger off. How old did you say the firearm was?
Mid-80s.
It's 85, and it's had...
Boy, I hate to be the one that says this, but you know how many years ago that was? Yeah. You replaced any parts on a 40-year-old car?
Now and then.
I just replaced the bolt and the lifter and all the parts to bring it up to the new, so it's got the slot in it. It's got more... flexibility.
Okay.
Good.
So I just changed all that, but you're saying it's the...
Sounds like the cartridge stops, yeah.
Almost assuredly.
Cartridge stop.
Yep. All righty.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
You bet, Doug. Thanks for the call.
Let us know how that goes.
Bye-bye.
And that's what this show's made for, right?
Let's get to, Big Jake out in Anaheim. How are you?
Hey.
Are you sleeping? Yep, there you are. Okay. What's going on, Jake?
I want to say hi to Mark, Jeff, and Jimmy.
How are you?
Thank you for that.
I'm about 10 years older than you. I grew up in California, and I remember back when the 1022s were brand new, and shortly after, a year or two, this is back probably in the, late 60s, early 70s, Mitchell came out with a 50-round drum magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it was like a drum, like a Thompson drum. This was an oblong 6-inch long conveyor belt.
I know that. I know. Yeah.
Box of, yeah, and you could get that Gatling gun going with 2 of those with the alternating trigger pulls of that crank and put out 100 rounds. And I remember a friend had one time. We were up in San Jose at the time. We were out jackrabbit hunting. And the jackrabbit saw that, and all of a sudden, they all came out with sticks with white flags on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure you heard a few.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what would happen if somebody bought that Ruger Gatling gun and they ended up out in the desert somewhere with 2 50-round drums like that. Would that be semi-legal, legal?
If you own the magazine before the year 2000, then you can still own it and still use it.
Oh, okay, so they're grandfathered in. That's good.
Yep.
Alrighty.
A lot more fun with 100 rounds in.
Oh,
heck yeah. That sounds like a party.
Yeah, that little 10-round box mag
It goes pretty quick.
Yeah, that would be about 3 cranks and you'd be
The
done.
Tipman with the 30-round magazine goes quick.
Fast, yeah.
All right. I just wanted to throw that tidbit in from a memory.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jake. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks so much for the call. That's awesome.
Okay.
That sounds like
Good
a fun
times
time.
back when we were young.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We still got Barney and Sherman Oaks. We'll get to you right after the break. And Brent from ALA is calling in.
Yeah.
You're listening to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be right back.
Yep.